In this brief tutorial, we'll take a look at how to use the Learning Tables and Find and Replace feature in Duxbury. These features are useful when you want to customize the contractions that your students see in their documents. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and open the Duxbury Braille Translator. There's a set of instructions that accompanies this tutorial. I'll link those below the tutorial video. So now that we have the Duxbury program open, we can either start a new document or open an existing one. I'm going to go ahead and start a new document. So I'll go File, New, and I'm going to start with a blank print document. I'll use the English UEB basic template, but you could use the UEB BANA template or the BANA with Nemeth template. It doesn't matter for our purposes here. I'll say OK. And you could type a couple sentences, or you can copy and paste something. I've got something saved on my clipboard here that I'm going to use for an example, so I will paste that. And this is a short story about Albert the Box Turtle. And right now we're looking at it in print. So the first thing we want to do to determine what contractions our student will see in this document is go to the document menu. And under the document menu, I'm going to select Learning Tables. Under Learning Tables, this tells us how the document is going to be contracted. You can see by default, fully contracted is checked. So this indicates that when our document is translated into Braille, all available contractions will be used from the code. Another option says uncontracted. If I were to choose this option, when I translate my document, we'll receive only uncontracted Braille, so it won't have any contractions in it. This is a good option if your student hasn't learned any of the contractions yet or has only learned very few of the contractions. And then you'll see there's all these other sets of learning tables. The one we're going to focus on today is the Maingold method learning tables, because these tables offer the most granular options. So I'm going to hit enter on the Maingold method learning table. You can see it shows us about 63 different contraction levels, and I will link below the video a document telling you the contractions that are in each of these levels. But basically they start with the very simple contractions, some of the single letter contractions such as can, but, go, things like that. And then they add more complex contractions as the levels go up. So the best thing you can do is either, if you're following the Maingold method for your student, pick the level your student's at, or look for a level that's close to where your student is learning in their progression of contractions. I'm going to start right now with AF. So I'll go ahead and hit enter on that one. So when I now translate my document, when I go File, Translate, it's going to use some of the contractions, but not all of them. It's only going to use the contractions that are listed in the first beginning levels of Maingold in sections A through AF. So for example, one of the contractions that hasn't been used yet because it doesn't come up until later in the Maingold series is the contraction for ER, the ER sign. You can see right at the top in the word Albert, ER has not been contracted. But if your student already knows that contraction or any other contraction you'd like to include in the document you're preparing for them, you can do that. All we have to do is go up to the Edit menu, and we're going to find the choice that says Replace. So I'll click on Replace, and I'm presented with a find box. When I type in this box, because I'm in Braille right now, I need to make sure I'm using my Perkins style typing so that I'm using S, D, and F as dots 3, 2, and 1, and J, K, and L as dots 4, 5, and 6. And I can type in the specific letters I want to replace. So I'm going to Braille the letter E, followed by the letter R. And then I'm going to say I want to replace that with the contraction for ER. So I'm going to Braille dots 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and I have the ER contraction, and I'm going to say OK. It'll say, do you want to replace each individual instance of that combination of letters, or do you want to do it throughout the entire document? And I'm going to just click on All to replace it throughout my entire document, and it'll say OK. 16 replacements were made. I'll say OK. And now you can see in the word Albert that ER is now contracted, and it's also contracted every other place it showed up in this document. So you can quickly go through and add in contractions that weren't included in that level of Maingold that your student may know to help reinforce when them seeing that contraction in their reading. You can also use this method to say remove a contraction. So if you didn't want ER or another contraction in there that was already in there, you could go through and do the reverse. Just Braille the ER sign and say replace with, and then Braille the letters E and R. So I hope this was helpful, and it helps you to prepare documents for your student. Thanks for watching.